First of all, congratulations for sitting through so much of a Bash course. Like, that in and of itself deserves a medal. It's not the most exciting topic. Like, Bash has been around forever. It's kind of a tool that everyone just kind of assumes you know. And so, like, if you go into an interview, they're not going to ask you a bunch of Bash questions because, one, they probably don't know themselves. And two, it's just not the most exciting, shiny technology. But I just have this like personal, strong opinion that when you have these tools that you're interacting with on a very consistent basis, as a developer often will do with a command line, it's worth the time to invest in these tools and figure out how to be more productive with them. Because if you can learn how to be 2 seconds faster, but you learn that very early in your career, you can save hours over your entire career just by kind of learning and investing in these tools. And honestly, I think it's kind of fun, right? Like, it's kind of fun to like automate these tasks that was such a pain in the ass before, but now you can do really cool things with them. So everything that I taught you was within the context of Bash and Ubuntu, but I just wanted to like really hit home that if I go back over to Mac, like now I'm in Mac land, right? All these things, like I just did cron tab, right? Like all this stuff still applies to Mac OS, almost all of it, like verbatim. You could copy and paste from my course into Mac and it would still work because I'm using ZSH here, and ZSH and Bash are largely compatible, and really smart people made Mac OS relatively compatible with the same way that Linux is. So everything that I just taught you will work very, very well with Mac. If not, I can't even think of anything that wouldn't work the same way. So that's one thing to keep in mind, as well as PowerShell. A lot of this works with PowerShell. Certainly all of the paradigms I showed you with PowerShell work exactly the same. It's just like the specific syntax will be a little bit different. And I'll be honest with you, PowerShell is a lot more pleasant to work with because it's more modern. Like Microsoft invests a lot into making it a much more modern experience. Like, for example, you get syntax highlighting as you're typing, which is really cool, which you don't get with Bash. But things like, I think Fish does actually give you syntax highlighting on the fly. But anyway, all that to say, you are now much more apt to hop into PowerShell and feel okay about it. Cool, and then I just wanted to give you some places to go from here. We talked a lot about the command line, and right now I feel pretty confident saying that you are certainly intermediate developers at the very least now with Bash, just based on all the information that I have. You're lucky that the bar here is pretty low because most people don't know how to use it super well. So where to go from here? There's definitely more depth to be gained here on Bash. This was definitely a cursory introduction, and I missed a lot of semi-important concepts. Like, we didn't talk about symlinks. You might go look up symlinks because that is actually a fairly important concept. One that I don't use a ton because they're a pain in the butt. But so definitely you can go get more depth on Bash. There's my course on the complete intro to containers, which takes this knowledge that I gave you and takes it into like even further depth. It teaches you more about Docker and how to do Linux containers. That's actually the inspiration for doing this course, is because I wanted to make sure everyone got up to the level that they needed on Bash so they felt comfortable doing containers. So that is definitely like the intermediate version of this course would be the intro to containers. Git in depth from Nina Zakarenko, I think I've referenced it a couple of times. That'll teach you Git specifically, which is very command line oriented. Full stack for front-end engineers. I think that has a little bit of a crossover with this course as well from my old coworker at Netflix, Jem, but it's amazing. And then I want to encourage all of you to dig into Node.js because it's like a very huge passion of mine. And I would be upset if literally anyone else taught that course for front-end masters except Scott Moss, because he is just like the best, most entertaining teacher and just the nicest guy in general. So definitely go check out the introduction to Node from Scott. So thanks again. Thanks for sticking through it. Super appreciative. I know Front-End Masters is appreciative of all the people that watch the courses and all the subscribers, as am I. So take this knowledge, go out and make the world a little bit better place, and hopefully it makes you a little bit happier. So thank you, and thanks for sticking through the course with me.